Hello, students. Now, the second ministry that we're going to see, the first ministry we have seen in our compilation series, Ministry of Minority Affairs. Now, after a lot of time, we are coming up with the second ministry, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Now, as we know, lockdown has increased to 2 more weeks, and hopefully, our prelims examination will also be extended. So, first, our priority on this channel is to finish our current affairs. Then we'll be coming up with this value added videos, right? But still, the first ministry is done. There's a second ministry, and let's start. So first is MOEFCC. So schemes can be demarcated into 4 forms. Now this demarcation is done by me, so that we are able to retain a lot of things, right? So please use these diagrams, make your own diagram or use this particular diagram. I cannot force you to use the same diagram, but these diagrams will give you a structure. So if you know the structure, it becomes really easy to cram the schemes, especially in the tough ministries. For example, I'll consider tough ministries: Ministry of Minority Affairs. Ministry of MHRD is one of the toughest ministry. We will cover it for sure. MHRD I'll cover, because that is one of the trickiest ministry to cover schemes, because a lot of schemes are there, right? And few other ministries. Okay, so let's start the Ministry of Environment and Forest. So first is, we know the modus operandi. I think we have already done Ministry of Minority Affairs. So what we do, basically, I have taken majority of the content from our current affairs classes only. Okay, so the content is from the current affair classes. A bit changes, but the point here is we focus only on the schemes by the ministry. So it's a compilation kind of a thing. So first one is pollution centric. So pollution, first we have National Clean Air Program, Swachh Nirmal Tat, then India Cooling Action Plan. Majority these two are important: Cooling Action Plan and Clean Air, National Clean Air Program. Then for the wildlife and the biodiversity, we have integrated development of the wildlife habitat and secure Himalaya. Okay, so these are at this front, wildlife and biodiversity. Then at the front of climate change, National Action Plan on the Climate Change. This is an overarching umbrella scheme. Under this, Ministry of Environment and Forest takes care of this component, that is National Mission for a Green India. Getting my point? We'll discuss NAPCC not in detail, but we will discuss in detail. Then at the front of the environmental governance, we have skilling some of the institutions. For example, eco clubs. It was in the news. I've covered it in the September month only. December month current affair. I've covered this eco clubs in the ecology series, obviously. Then we have green skill development program. Associated with that, INVIS, an institutional framework, then Himalayan Research Fellowship Program, and finally the Parivesh portal. Okay, so these are the components of our Ministry of Environment, Forest and the Climate Change. Okay, so first we'll see some pollution related schemes. So first is Swachh Nirmal Tat. So Tat is a basically coast. So it is for the coastal cleaning of the coast. Okay, so beaches clean and create awareness among the citizen in the important coastal ecosystem. So it is some of the 10 states, some of the beaches across the 10 states. So not all the beaches, first of all. Okay, so best beaches will be awarded, and all these things. Again, it is more of an awareness kind of a scheme, not a centrally sponsored or central sector kind of a scheme. Okay, so which are the states? Obviously the coastal states will be there: Gujarat, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Andhra, Odisha, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka. Okay, right. Next is, this one is important, that is National Clean Air Action Air Program, Clean Air Program, NAP and CAP. So by the MOEFCC, the idea is to reduce the particulate matter in the selected cities, in 102 cities, right? These cities are chosen, obviously they will be the most polluted cities on the basis of the ambient air quality data and WHO reports, right? So the idea is, first of all, as I told you, it's not a pan-India but a city-specific program. Okay, so through monitoring framework, this will be carried out. Which will be the authority? CPCB will be the executing authority, Central Pollution Control Board. Okay, and obviously the respective ministry and intersectoral groups will be formed. So you can see ministries, obviously Delhi is there, Chandigarh, Punjab, in Rajasthan 5 cities, majority of the urban centers will be there. These are the places where the most pollution is there. In UP, which is the city having most pollution? Varanasi was in the news. In fact, it once upon a time Varanasi was having more pollution than the Delhi itself. Okay, right. So let us summarize some things. So a new framework will be given. So there will be an apex committee, and there will, this is always you can see this is always in majority of the scheme. For example, when we'll read about National Ganga Mission, Namami Gange, sorry, Namami Gange, it has been changed. So Namami Gange also have an apex committee. It will be led by a minister. Okay, so it will just do the oversight things, but the steering committee, that is the committee that majorly works, and obviously it will be headed by a bureaucrat, and bureaucrat means Secretary of Environment. Okay, so this is that new framework. CPCB will be the institutional authority. Okay, and the focus in on the particulate matters in 102 cities, right? Okay, so this is National Clean Air Program. Next is National Cooling Action Plan. So remember, Cooling Action Plan is with respect to, you remember, Montreal Protocol, then Kigali Amendment, all these things for the ozone pollution. Okay, so this is the overarching basic background of the things. So by the Ministry of MOFCC, then 20-year roadmap from 2018 to 2038. And this, India is one of the first country to come up with this comprehensive cooling action plan to fight ozone layer depletion, adhering to the Montreal Protocol and our Kigali's agreement commitments. Okay, so this is, these things you don't have to remember. For example, what are the different aspects of our cooling plan? These things are very like factual. I don't think this is relevant for a prelims, but what you need to remember, cooling action plan itself can come. Okay, so what are the different things? For example, they want to reduce the refrigerant demand, right? The energy requirement, then demand of the cooling demands across the sector. I don't know how will they do, because now everywhere temperature is increasing, and how they will achieve this task, that's a different things to see, but obviously they have a cooling action plan, right? Okay, the next is, so we are done with the pollution aspect, then we have some climate change. So I was talking about NAPCC, right? National Action Plan on the Climate Change. This plan, action plan, we'll discuss in some other aspect on current affairs, somewhere we'll discuss about it. So this action plan was basically initiated in 2008 in Manmohan Singh era, right? Our own efforts for the climate change, our national level efforts. Okay, so within that we have 8 missions. Now I have divided the mission into 4 parts so that we can remember it. For example, I have divided the 4 parts into energy, climate change, habitat, and forest and agriculture. Among energy, and every mission, there will be 8 missions obviously under these 4 headings. These headings I have decided, first of all, remember that. Then every mission will be under a particular ministry. Okay, so for example, energy, we start with National Solar Mission. So it is under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Obviously solar is there. Then Ministry of Energy Efficiency by Ministry of Power. Under climate change, I have done National Mission on the Strategic Knowledge on the Climate Change by the Ministry of Science and Technology. Then National Mission on Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem. I have also considered it under climate change, because what the logic I have must have given that climate change is affecting mostly the, like majority, they are affecting the Himalayan ecosystem a lot. So under Ministry of Science and Tech. So this you remember please, huh? Because many a times we get confused under which ministry it will be. So it is under Ministry of Science and Tech, not Ministry of Environment and Forest. So Ministry of Science and Tech, we have 2 missions. Then for the habitat, we have National Mission on the Sustainable Habitat, and National, that is under Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, very important ministry, I told you already in current affairs. Then National Water Mission under Ministry of Jal Shakti. Okay, okay, under the Forest and Agriculture, National Mission for Green India, that is what we're going to read under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And finally National Mission on the Sustainable Agriculture under Ministry of Agriculture. So this is how I have divided all the things. So you should make your own diagram. If you are not like, you do not like my categorization, make your own categorization, but do make categorization so that you are able to remember the 8 missions, and you should know the 8 missions. Why? Because in mains you have to read it. Why? Because NAPCC is very important component of our climate change, and climate change is a very important topic for our GS and essays. So coming back to this national mission on the Green India under the MOFCC. So obviously the idea is to protect, restore and enhance India's diminishing forest cover. Now I hope you have done in your current affair. I am also covering in the January month. I'll be covering in the ecology portion Indian State of Forest Report. So stay tuned for January month ecology video. So I'll be covering in detail, not detail as in whatever prelim centric information is required for the National Indian State of the Forest Report, right, 2019. Okay, so the idea is to the mission uses first few important things, both private and public land, and obviously it includes the participation from the local community for the preservation of the area and also the restoration of the degraded area. I'll tell you few of the other things. For example, Bond Challenge, right, UNFCCC, no, UNCCD. So these are the conventions. Do read, because this time India has the COP, right, COP 14. India has United Nations Conference on the combating the desertification. So please do see this, right? Current affairs we have already covered, UNCCD. Right, coming back to the topic. So the objectives are to increase the forest and tree covers to extent of 5 million hectares. Again, not very important, but let us cover it. And also improve in the other, where the forest and the non-forest land are there, improve the quality in other 5 hectare area. And obviously making the forest based livelihood and improving the carbon sequestration, carbon sink and all these things. Right, so these are the specific objective. So this is the National Green India Mission. Now, next is the third portion is wildlife and the biodiversity. So in this, the first scheme is we're gonna see Secure Himalaya. So Secure Himalaya already I covered in current affairs. So Secure Himalaya is by the funding is given by the Global Environment Facility and the UNDP. So Indian Ministry, that is MOFCC, along with the this UNDP, and traffic is also involved here. Traffic, you must be knowing if you have revised environment. So traffic is an agency. So along with these agencies, we are coming up with Secure Himalaya initiative. So idea is to conserve the, what is the name from it, Secure Himalaya. So securing Himalaya, what will be securing? So we will be securing some biodiversity, some forest in there, right? And overall objective, why we want to secure? First of all, for its sake, and also sustainable livelihood for the people as well, right? Enhancing the lives and the livelihood of the local communities, because they are the one of the most important stakeholder in this approach. Now, what we need to remember from prelims approach, it is applicable in the 4 states: Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal, Uttarakhand and Sikkim. Now, among the 4 states, there are 6 specific landscapes where they are focusing, right? I'll cover the 6 specific landscape. Again, I'm telling you in January, places in news. I will cover in detail all the 6 landscapes, but irrespective of that, so within the Jammu and Kashmir, there is Changhang, one landscape. Within the Himachal Pradesh, we have 2, that is Pangi and Kinnur. Within the this Uttaranchal, Uttarakhand, Gangotri, Govind and Dharma Beas, and Sikkim, there is one Kanchenjunga, right? Okay, so these are the 6 basically things. And also they have included within this snow leopard. So snow leopard will also be conserved in the Secure Himalaya initiative. So these are the 6 initiatives. These are single ones. This is Jammu and Kashmir, that is Changtang, and this is Kanchenjunga. I will do it that in detail in our places in news, but still the locations I have kept. Then these are from the Uttarakhand, right? These 2, Gangotri and some valleys there, Damra. Then under the Himachal Pradesh, we have Pangi Valley and also the Kinnur. Okay, so this is the Himachal Pradesh, right? Next scheme we're gonna study, that is integrated development of the wildlife habitat. So first of all, it's an umbrella scheme under which all the project tigers, all the project elephants will come. Okay, so under this scheme, so first of all, it's centrally sponsored umbrella scheme, and under this particular scheme, the government of India will provide the financial assistance to the center and the union territory for the wildlife conservation. Okay, so the 3 basic aims are there. So what you need to remember, if the question will be asked, they will give all the 3 points. So just have a read it once and you are done. So what is the idea? Secure to the protected area. So I talked about national park, wildlife sanctuary, then protection of the wildlife outside the protected area, then recovery programs on saving the critically endangered species. So some specifically critically endangered species will be saved under this particular program. Okay, now we discuss the last section, that is environmental governance. So first is Parvesh. So Parvesh is a portal first of all. Okay, so I've covered this in the governance section in our August current affairs. So I'm just copying the content. So let us discuss again. Parivesh. So the idea is proactive, responsive facilitation by the interactive, virtuous, and environmental single window hub. So obviously it's a single window integrated environmental system. So it will be a one-stop shop for the environmental clearances for both, for all the for all the level of authority, center, state, and the district level, right? It so that every stakeholder, whether it be project proponent or citizen, they are able to track their, for example, what is the at which stage their clearance is, right? So it will provide the transparency and the transparency to the stakeholders and accountability to the governance as well, and more importantly help us for the environmental clearances to delay, whatever delays have been caused by the environmental clearances, that will be reduced. Okay, right. Next is after Parivesh, we see Himalayan Research Fellowship Scheme. So from the name itself, they will give some fellowship for doing some Himalayan research, obviously. So the idea is to provide some money or fellowship to the environmental managers, ecologists, socio-economists, right? So they will study the human aspect and physical, biological, manage these aspects of the Himalayan ecosystem, executed by the institutions working in the Indian Himalayan region. Okay, and support will be provided by the national mission on the Himalayan studies. So the fellowship will be provided for 3 years, and where will be the focus? Again, very generic things. So hydropower development, biodiversity management, livelihood options, these things will always remain the same, right? Rejuvenation of the springs and catchment. Last year Niti Aayog has a report on the springs. They have done a study on the Himalayan springs. How many springs in Himalaya have reduced because of the climate change, because of the melting of the glacier, and that is affecting the livelihood of the people, livelihood and the lives of the people, because many of the people in the Himalayan landscape are dependent on those springs for for their water needs, right? Next is green skill development program. So green skill. So idea, what is this green skill? So skill, you know. So green skill will be skilling in the field of the environment. For example, skilling with respect to biodiversity management, right? We'll see many of the skills are mentioned here. So it is lined with the other Skill India mission, the overall arcing Skill India mission. What you need to remember, the nodal agencies, that is Botanical Survey of India and Geological Survey of India. So these two agencies will be the nodal agencies for this particular program. Okay, right. So it will help. Why these is needed? Green skill for our objective. For example, how many objectives? So many objectives we have in the environmental field. For example, first is INDCs, right? Intended nationally determined contributions. Then our SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, our biodiversity target in HE targets. Okay, so idea is to train 5.5 lakh workers by 2021. So the idea is to, for background, obviously we have a huge demography to who we can train, right? And they can be deployed, having the green skills, they can be deployed in many of the areas. For example, ecotourism, right? Ecotourism, many of the industries which are working in the green field, for example, which are getting the clearances to work in the environmental viable vulnerable portions in the environmental area. For example, some industries getting Western Ghats, clearance in the Western Ghats. So these people can be employed, making sure that the industrial work does not hamper the actual, do not damage the actual environmental things. They should restrict themselves to their particular area, right? So these things will be under the green skills. Next is Invis portal. So environmental information portal. So from the name itself, environmental information portal. So it will be a database which can provide information with respect to all the stakeholders information of the environment. So many of the environment in which centers are created. Obviously, there will be some center at the center, then there will be some at the state level, which will provide the specific area, and that will be given to the central area. So providing environmental information to the decision makers, policy planners, scientists, engineers, all the stakeholders all over the country. Obviously, so it is at the international level. So one nation, two nation like Pakistan and all the other nation will be giving. So at the international level, that is Infoterra. This INVIS at international name is Infoterra, which is driven by the UNEP. So that is the international level environmental information system. Okay. So in India, MOEFCC takes care of this INVIS portal. So if you see the responsibility of INVIS, you can see what I'm trying to say. So establishment of the linkage of the information sources on the selected parameters, then identification of the information gaps, publishes newsletter bulletins, right? And all these things. Okay. Next is, so green skill. I just wanted to tell you the green skill scheme, right? Green skill development program. So that is intrinsically linked to the INVIS. Obviously, INVIS will provide the information on the basis of which skills can be integrated. Right. Next is eco clubs. So as I told you, I've covered that into the September month ecology. So what are these eco clubs? Basically, they are for the awareness generation, including the children, as a champion of change or as a stakeholder, as a catalyst, so as to include the environmentally sound habits and practices into our behavior. Right. To impart knowledge to the students through hands-on experience about their immediate environment and their interactions. And obviously, when the children will be aware, they are the future citizens, right? Who will be taking the ownership and the stewardship role for the environmental, saving the earth and saving the environment. Many of the area, not only environment, if we see critical manifestation in terms of water, in terms of air pollution, so they are the people who will be helping us there. Right. So it is a part of the very old scheme, 1982, 1983 environmental ministry come up with this scheme, environmental awareness and the training scheme. So it's a very old scheme, but the one of the important component is the National Green Corps, which have organized the eco clubs. And these eco clubs are one of the instrumental member in the Nirmal Tat Abhiyan that we have started. We have started our discussion with that. Okay. So these are, you can see, are small institutional platforms. Okay. So we are done with our scheme. Let us quickly revise it. So we have divided all the schemes under the 4 umbrella. First, we started with the pollution, National Clean Air Program, 102 non-attainment city, right? Decreasing the PM 2.5. Then India Cooling Action Plan along with Swachh Nirmal Tat, Cooling Action Plan for the Montreal Protocol. Then we've discussed climate change. I've discussed NAPCC. So just remember that particular framework that I've given is divided into 4. One of the schemes is National Mission for the Green India, some specific target, 5 million hectare. Let's remember this figure, 5 plus 5. So I think that will do. Next is, we have done wildlife and biodiversity. So integrated development of the wildlife habitat and secure Himalaya. Here we have seen 6 specific landscape. We are doing one specific thing was snow leopard is included, right? Many of the international agencies are also working with the government. Then for the environmental governance, started with the eco clubs, National Green Skill Program, also integrated with the INVIS, then fellowship, and finally the Parvej the portal. Right. So I hope we are able to clear out many of the schemes of the environment forest. If you read this much only, you are done with this particular scheme, right? This particular ministry, and you don't have to do anything else. So please download the things from Telegram or Telegram channel. So we have all the PDFs now being uploaded. You can see September month, December month. All the PDFs are uploaded in this PPT format, also the PDF compilation format, everything is uploaded there. So you can find the content there, right? Okay, so already Ministry of Minority Affairs we have done. Tiger Reserve impetus video is, please do see those. I'm telling you, because this can be a very critical source for our preparation. And finally, the current affair going on, In the defense, this particular video, I've discussed many of the missiles. That is why I've told many of the aspirants to look at this particular video, even if they are not following the current affairs. But do this particular video because you'll find a framework under which I've compiled many of the missiles of India. It will really help you to have a structure in your mind. Right, then I'll see you in the next class. We have done Ministry of Environment Forest. Next time we'll be covering, I hope, Ministry of Jal Shakti or Ministry of MHRD, any one of those. Right, so please do revise and take the PDF from the Amrita Telegram channel. Okay everyone, see you in the next class.